Alright, thanks, Cash In. You're a good girlfriend. You'll be fine. Alright. Phasers to maximum. Yeah, now we can actually just get around. And now, I don't know for sure how much damage they do. I believe they do the most damage of any spell. And that may not be saying much, but it's better than nothing. So it takes 3... I want to test this out. It takes 3 boomerangs to kill one of these guys. It takes at least 5, which is not looking good. So it looks like the phaser does around half of the damage as our boomerang does, which is terrible. So never mind, it's pretty bad. I was expecting a little better, so we should probably just stick with the snake if we want to kill stuff. But even then, it's not that impressive. Let me look at the map here, because I know for sure there's secret areas in this dungeon that you have to use the phaser to work your way to. Like, I betcha if I went all the way to the top and then around to the left, there'd be something, because that's like the long route. But I'll explore this tunnel, this hallway first. Self-destruct, yeah. You've defeated me! Kaboom! Yeah, no. Yeah, you were saying earlier it was a shame I played all the Shining Force games. There actually is one more strategy-style Shining Force game that I could still Let's Play. I believe it was on the Game Gear, and I don't know if it's any good, but I haven't actually played it. It comes, story-wise, in between Shining Force 2 and 3. And I think there's also a Gaiden as well that's just a remake of something. I played all the main series, though, unfortunately. I'm still convinced you move slightly faster when you're jumping, so... The Platinum Key. Maybe I should just look at the map so I know where to go in here. I imagine the central room is the end of it, and you need the right key to get there, so... This is probably, like, the end of the dungeon when I'm done. Yeah, I've played the Game Gear ones a little bit. They're not going to be as good as Shining Force 2, but they might be worth a look at least. Even time dies. So I'm 99% sure any key I have will not work here. Because I think this is the final lock door. Probably not contaminated. Haha. Yeah, I didn't need to look at that. Alright. Check this out first. Just a dead end? Okay. Hey! It's an axe that self-proclaimed as great. Well, it does more damage than the not self-proclaimed great axe, but I don't think I'm going to be using an axe. That might be the highest damage weapon in the game, perhaps. And I'll throw this away to make space for it, but in fact, I'll make a bit more. I'm really low on inventory space here. Oh, you know what? I forgot to re-equip the shield. Remember, I specifically broke my shield. I've been doing this whole dungeon with no shields. Yeah, there we go. And let's move that up. I would definitely take less damage if I had my shield ready, yeah. Alright. Look at that, big fat shield. I wonder if it makes you move slower. That would be a real shame. Now this might be the right door for my key. No! Denied! Alright, well. There's not a lot of other directions to go, so... The fact that these guys can drop meat, which is your full recovery item, is pretty good. It's kind of like enemies dropping, you know, elixirs or X potions in Final Fantasy, so... Earthquake 2, yeah. Yeah, Shining Force 2 is such a good game, it's really hard not to, not to enjoy it. There are actually some pretty interesting, like, fan mods for it that, tweak it a little bit. Generally to make it more difficult, kind of like how Brave New World works, but, if I was ever going to revisit a Shining Force, that's probably how I would do that one. But I always feel bad when, well, bad exactly, but I always feel like it's a bit of a gamble when you're taking a masterpiece and then like editing how the balance works or whatever. Is there anything in the top left? I think it's just... Yeah, I think I need to get to the bottom left of this area, basically. I can jump that. I can make it. Source of power? Well, it wasn't the key I was hoping for. But I'll take another +3 attack if I can get it. 38. And again, if we ever get to the final boss, I'll get all these red orbs. Consider it +6 for that. That was not +3. That was +1. Alright, so where to next? It's probably backtracking now that I've got the phaser. It's gonna knock me off, isn't it? Okay. I'm always conflicted on mods like Brave New World and Long War. I think there's a lot of things they do right, because they're generally made to a pretty good, like, those kind at least, are made to a pretty high level of quality compared to a lot of the traditional junk mods. By, like, super fans of the series, so, like, it's cool. And both of those, I think, did a lot of things really right, and definitely improved the game in a lot of aspects. It's just, unfortunately... It's like someone on the team is like, well, while we're doing all this good stuff, let's also make sure it's more difficult, because I find it too easy, because, you know, I've played the game 100 times, so we gotta ramp it up a little bit so I'm having a fun. You know, if I'm gonna test this mod out 100 times, it can't be so easy that it's not worth using different strategies. They must have had some discussion like that, and it always ends up with, okay, well, to make sure there's no easy exploits or quick ways to beat the game too easily or too quickly, you know, we'll change things and add some HP or, I don't know, whatever, something. And eventually you end up with what we always seem to get, where there's so many good parts, but, you know, unless you're a pro or have played the game a dozen times, it's pretty difficult. I'm sure if I played Brave New World again right now, I would have a much less difficult time. So where am I trying to go? Like, I might have to go all the way back to the first floor. I think it's like, remember that first, kind of near the Entropy Dark Room, where there's a bunch of black area surrounded by the disappearing platform? I think I might have to go back to there, actually. Because I need that key to get past the next hallway. Probably could have used a warp gate to save a bunch of time, but... Yeah, the chrysalid ambushes, I mean... a lot of people would say, like, that's XCOM, baby, and, I mean, the problem is that the way Long War was always balanced was, like, it was essentially designed so that actually losing a squad was near to just ending your run, instead of balancing so that soldiers were somewhat replaceable. Because I'm, you know, like, it is kind of part of the fun having your favorite soldier murdered by the alien scum, and then you learn how to avoid it next time. Like, that is totally part of the fun. It's just that if the balance is the difficulty is set so tight that any significant losses mean potentially losing the game, that's where it's not so fun. Let's throw the cheese away, right? That's not what I wanted. Well, it's a nice shortcut, but I'm still looking for... So, I think this is it. I think this is the, yeah, this is totally the room I'm looking for. Oh, good! It's another one of these. I'm not even gonna... This stream has been going on for too long. I'm not even gonna waste my time here. We're just gonna look it up. This is, room E. Where does E take us? This is not even the biggest one. Oh, man, that's scary. This is the second largest dark room. There's another one coming up after this that's even worse. Alright, well, there's essentially 2 items in here. I can show it on the in-game X-ray goggles to give you a bit of an idea. It probably wouldn't be too hard to figure out, but it'll be a lot easier if I... Oh, man, and you have to do them in the right order. Yeah, okay, so... There's 2 things to do. One's a key, and one's a door that needs a key. So, yeah, we're going to save a lot of time here. So, essentially, just to translate for you guys... We need to get to the northern room first, and then the southwest of that room. And the good news, at least for this one, is there's less total walls that'll block you. So for the most part, I can just go straight up. Mostly. As long as I don't complicate it by going into corners. Somewhere around here is pretty close. Like, the X-ray goggles help, but, yeah, I'm really close here. It's just a matter of getting past a wall. Oh, yeah, that wall there. I think you have to come at it from the north side. Did I overshoot it? I may have overshot it. I was so close. Yeah, okay, I went too far down. Maybe it's not from the right. Oh, yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully you can kind of see what I did there, and maybe it worked. I don't know. It's somewhere around here. So close. Okay, good. You just had to loop around, that's all. Alright, of course. I wonder if I ever need the fire sword again. Just junk it. I haven't seen a lot of enemies that poison you down here, to be honest. Alright, now, from here... I wonder if I can get out... No, I think I have to go to the north side, essentially. The only way into this section is on the north end. And then now I'm into the rest of the room, basically, now. Now, if I go straight down from here, I think it should take me pretty close to the locked door that I'm looking for. But we'll double check with the goggles, or the glasses. Yeah, I mean, I literally ran into the top of the room, so that's pretty good. I call them X-ray goggles. I think That was the X-ray scope in Super Metroid, but... What game or media had X-ray goggles? Something must have. I must be remembering something, right? I think it's this one. Radiating light. Yeah, I wish. I can actually see where I was going. Alright, now that will be the key that we need to get past that next hallway on the last floor we've made it to, which is 4, maybe. This might be the wrong one. Yeah, we're on the right floor, right? No, this is the wrong way. This is down. It's like I think this is the floor with the big area that we got the phaser spell on. Yeah, and if we go south, we'll get to the hallway that had a locked door on it. And I think that covers. I can just jump. Yeah, I can. Classic. I think there's no more backtracking required for the moment. I think. I should really kill these things, though. You're almost at the end of Metroid Fusion. Cool, cool. Some of those were recorded pretty early in the channel, so they're a little bit different quality than the modern recordings, the modern series, but probably not too bad, hopefully. I've been considering doing another tackle of Super Metroid, actually. Either randomized or just the main story, but with a higher frame rate, so it looks a little nicer. Yeah. Well, I'm a lot more familiar with the like. I mean, I've played through Fusion a lot, but I've played through Super Metroid a lot more. That's one of those games that I could almost do it blindfolded, practically. I'm sure. Don't take that as a challenge, though. But yeah, I mean, yeah, I figured probably not too bad. There's some pretty cool randomizers for Super Metroid as well that I could look at again one day. They actually like reorder all of the items you can get, and they can make for some pretty interesting challenges depending on your luck. Alright, this room is going to be not too difficult as long as I go the right direction. Don't get stuck in dead ends. So like they'll move like where the Varia suit is, and you'll end up having to do most of Norfair without heat protection. Which is possible, but not necessarily easy. So there's some weird things like that are kind of fun. Or, well, the worst actually is when you have to do Meridia with no gravity suit, because that gets really, really hard. Fighting Dragon without the ability to actually jump, no Shine Spark, no. Well, you better hope you have the grapple beam basically, because that's all you got. Too much narration in Fusion? I guess, I know Fusion is one of those games that has, like, oddly sort of split reception. Like, a lot of people love it, but a lot of Metroid fans also are quite mad about it. Like, it's weird on that. It's sort of divisive, I guess. I am in the camp of, I think it's a nice change. I prefer like Zero Mission and Super Metroid, but I still think there's room for games like Fusion with the more, little bit more linear and a bit more plot focused than the other ones. Stuff like having SAX hunt you down is like, I think that stuff is really well done. Or like how some of the areas, like with the, I forget the name of the area or which number it is, but like the one where there's all the bugs that you come back later and then they're all in chrysalids, and then you come back later and they're all in wasp form, and they start affecting the ship by draining the power or turning the generator off or something. Like, some of that is like some of the best storytelling in a Metroid game I've ever seen, actually, and it's all done with very little narration. So I think to make a good next Metroid game, they actually should pay attention to some of what they did in Metroid Fusion. Not all of it, necessarily. Locking you in and sort of forcing you to follow a path. But a lot of the atmospheric stuff was done really quite well. The fact that it changes while you play the game was something that didn't really happen in Super Metroid much, you know. Little bits, but not a lot. Alright, and this is the worst dark room. I even remember this place being Nightmare. I'm just going to look it up. It's just really... This is instead of a bunch of narrow corridors, it's a really wide corridor that you have to walk a long way without really knowing where you're going. G and H. So there's 2 stairways in it, basically. And I think I need to go to G first, which is pretty easy to get to, so we should be fine. I'll pull it up on the map so you guys see a little bit where we're trying to go here. Trying to explain this to you guys watching along in the dark is tough. The 2 white dots is a staircase, and then the room on the far right has a staircase. And I guess, like, I'm a sucker for the story of Fusion. I want to know what happens to Samus. Oh, this has the... I think this has, like, scrolling, auto-scrolling... auto-pushing floors that sort of push you around a little bit to really mess you up. But, like, I want to know what happens now that her suit's corrupted with SAX and then restored with Metroid juice. Like, I want to know... It's been, like, over 10 years or something. I really want to know what the future for Samus is after it. And then we got all the Prime games, which were fine, but they were set up in the past between Metroid 2 and Super Metroid, right? I think between those 2 games. And then we had, like, Other M, which we don't talk about, and Hunters or whatever. But all those happened sort of in the past. I want to see what happens to Fusion Samus, basically. Oh, I forgot to check. I'm not even sure. 24 could be the right number. We're gonna do a... Hold on a sec. This is more complicated now. We're gonna save over here, and then we're gonna go back to 0 and reload to see if... Sorry. If I got... Oh, so we went from 23 to 24, so that was not good luck. Alright, I thought maybe we got the +3 there, so I wanted to have a save just in case. Alright, so, little extra bonus side thing, and now we gotta keep going to the right. Maybe it was just these guys sucking you in. I thought there was, like, moving platforms in here as well, but it's hard to say. Anyway, so we're basically just trying to go right. Yeah, there's definitely scrolling platforms in here to mess you up. It means if you're... I could be pushing against a wall, potentially, while standing on a platform that's pushing me to the left. And then, never know. So Samus Returns, the newest game on the 3DS, is a remake of Metroid 2, which was the original Game Boy game. So the one that... when they went to SR388 to hunt down all the Metroids, right before Super Metroid, that's what Samus Returns is. It's just a remake. And I'm not... I did play through it recently, and it's not the worst game, but I don't like the direction they're taking Metroid. It's a 2D Metroid game that we've been waiting for. Oh man, I didn't make any progress at all. You know, we've been waiting for a 2D Metroid game for a very long time, but I don't think that's the one we were waiting for. Project AM2R, if you're into it, if you haven't seen that one. That's the fan-made remake of Metroid 2 that's much better. Okay, am I anywhere where I want to go here? I'm going to have to look up my map again. This one, unfortunately, is too difficult to navigate. I made it a long way over this time, so I'm much closer. But I think I actually need to go down, left, down, and then back up and right. Like, I still got... It looks like I'm close, but I'm actually not. It's a trap. Too many remakes. Yeah. Maybe I did make it past it. Did I keep going right there, or was I... No. Okay. It's the scrolling floors. So I need to hug this wall, move left, and as soon as I can move back down, which is around there, hold right, down and right until I can start moving right. The problem is, like, I could be being pushed up or down and I wouldn't really know about it as I'm trying to walk right. So it's like, some of these, this floor is just the worst. Alright, I'm in the right direction, just gotta keep going right and then up now. Oh, almost there. Try it. Keep pushing. Alright, the final dark room done, I believe. Now what? I guess I should try. Before we get to the end of the game, I should try to finish my stats. So I need to see a 26 here. That's not a 26. What's this room all about? There's a way up, and there was like a door on the southern end. A couple doors. Chasing balls? Oh, bouncing balls and chasing balls. I don't really remember this floor, honestly. This is... Oh! I bet you if I go down, the red ball will just hit me. Well, I will try. I'm gonna need it on the switches. Ah, okay. I sort of remember it. The problem is, yeah, once you come in that door, you can't free the orange ball. Okay. Because it can't change directions mid-roll. It has to hit a wall before it changes directions. So you gotta come in from this angle, and you gotta kind of control where it's allowed to go. Not like it's particularly oh, no, that was a mistake. Yeah, realized it just too late. Can I recover? We can recover. Now I just need it to stay there. Might have been better to push this one in first, because when I try to walk through the door, the orange ball is going to try to kill me, probably. We'll see if this works. We'll try. That will happen too, yeah. Okay, we're gonna have to reset the orange ball. Chasing ball makes it a little bit tricky. But yeah, this will work better anyway. Okay, oh, that was a mistake. That's fine, I'm just gonna take a little bit of damage. This is a bouncer, right? Oh, good. This is just gonna hurt. Like, it's fine. It's just gonna hurt a bit. At least they don't insta-kill you, basically, right? And I've got infinite healing going on, so, you know, that helps. We got bouncy ball and... Oh, I know what this room is. So one is easy. But I think the only way to get this ball to land on a switch is to hit it against this ball as it's bouncing vertically. I think. If I remember correctly, that's the only way to do this one. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's the only way it'll work. Prepare for trouble. This is a mean trick. Alright, I don't know if that'll count. It counts because the game's not programmed to do half squares for balls. Good enough. One tile is one tile. There's nothing in between. So we got a key. And I think that might be it for this floor. Oh, let's try this again. We're looking for 31 again, right? Nope. We're looking for a different number than that. Did I get it this time? I can't remember. Okay, I'm just going to leave it. I think that was +3. I think it was 23 to 26. Yeah, I said earlier 26 is the target number. Now I remember. Yeah, okay, good. Now, did I also have a power source I've been forgetting about? Yeah, I did, actually. I forgot about that one. So we also need to get our power up from 38 to 41. That's where the 1 came from. I forgot about that. I mean, we might as well try to get this all done before we get to the final boss, or else there's no point. That was a +2. It's pretty good, but we'll try to get the max. Oh, you know what you might be able to do? I always forget that this is... At heart, it has a lot of puzzle game aspects. No. Alright, well that would have been actually really clever if it had worked. What if you could just freeze them or something? Like, if they really want to be taken seriously as a puzzle game, they would have the spells make some of these puzzles easier, if you remember to use the right spell. But I guess they didn't want to go that route. Whatever, just run. I guess I forgot. I was going to check if the map was finished. I don't remember much of this map. Wow. This is the... Okay, this is floor 2 or whatever. Okay. Complicated floor. This is a complicated dungeon. This is... There's just no way. You're gonna have to parse through some red balls there. I guess there might have been a way to drag one of those down and then run, but yeah. Let's try again, see if I can get my attack up. Probably should just throw this away. The coolest looking helmet, unfortunately. Dang it. No luck. Alright. Entropy. And out of space. Oh, you know what? Because I had to reload it. Oh, that's just the speed upgrade. That's not even very good. Oh well. So I think I've got like 2 keys ready to go. So maybe it's time to make some progress. Oh, does that mean I have to go back to the entropy room? I should just teleport back to the 4th floor, I think. Yeah. This is just going to be way too much hassle to try to go through again. Oh, that's rude. When you're stuck in entropy, you can't even use your teleporter. Probably won't cave in, yeah. Yeah, this is definitely a game that's old enough that they hadn't quite solved the inventory issues, or they still thought it was good design to limit the player's inventory, because that was an early... That's something like, to make games more difficult, you know, limit how much you can carry, because that does make it harder. It adds to the challenge. But it's a bad challenge, unfortunately. There's much better ways to make things difficult. For me, with Elder Scrolls, well, one thing at least, it is very easy, especially in stuff like Skyrim, to mod out things like inventory limits. If that's the thing holding you back from Skyrim, that doesn't need to be the thing that's holding you back from Skyrim. I mean, I'm not a Skyrim. I'm not going to sing its praises or anything. I didn't find it to be the best game ever, but I will say, unlocking unlimited inventory for it is probably one of the easiest things you can do. That being said, there's lots of other things that will probably still bother you. So I think it was this room with the black middle, yeah. Or actually maybe one more left. Maybe, I forget. No, not this room. Next one over. I should try again. I'm getting awfully close to the end here. Yeah, for me it's sort of two things. I don't really like the leveling system for, like, any of them very much. I like the idea of leveling up stats as you use them, or skills as you use them, but I don't like the way it sort of gets implemented for those games. It just bugs me. I'd rather just get experience and level ups, honestly. Dang it, no luck. But the big one for me is actually more... it's actually like the open-endedness of it. I like it to have a more linear story. When the main story is like 5 or 6 hours of gameplay, and the filler is just random, somewhat randomly generated quests to some degree, it's like, And I know they're not really randomly generated too much in those types of games, but I get sort of lost and unfocused if there's no direction. If it's just like, go do whatever you want to do. And then eventually my quest log has 100 entries in it, and I've just forgotten why I'm doing anything. And it's like, okay, at that point I don't know what I'm doing, I'll just stop playing. But that's not specific to Elder Scrolls. That's the too open-ended syndrome for me, personally. Some open-endedness is great, but... if I ever see a quest log that's just unreadable and I can't remember why I got those quests in the first place, then you've kind of lost the narration connection, basically, the story connection. Well, it looks like we might be at a boss fight. So, maybe I should power up. Is this the final boss? Maybe. I don't know. He didn't say much, so usually the final bosses are chatty. What do we even hit here? Lag boss. I feel like this must be laggier than the original. Like, it must be something to do with my emulator that's really making it slow down. By the way, that... maybe that's him. He's got 2 forms. That's a good sign for a boss. For final boss. But yeah, this combination of Power Orb and all of this red... all of the upgrades, the attack fairy and everything is just so strong. If this is the final boss, we're going to be really sad. I think he is, actually. All these extra forms. He definitely hits hard, no doubt that. But, he is no match for the double damage. Oh, no, 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 no! Okay, that's cheating. Just not gonna say anything. Yeah, it's an Enix game, guys. This is a classic Enix tactic. Not that Squaresoft has probably never done any of that, but yeah, that's good. I love that. So I feel like I'm now authorized to engage save states. I've been granted permission by the gaming gods. Let's try... Oh, yeah. I'm pretty oppressed. Well, I got a +2, but I'm going to take it anyway, because it's time for the final boss, one way or the other, and I'm not going to keep re-rolling for +1 power here. It looks like, unless I missed a couple power sources, your maximum power stat is 40, or 41 specifically. Which actually means, with the boomerang, we could hit a 50 power, which theoretically is 100 damage per hit, if that's how it works. But, yeah. I may have missed a couple power sources, I don't know. Alright, right here, we're going to be putting our final game save in. And it's right back from the beginning, right? Of course it is. How many red orbs do I have left? Lots, so that's good. I do remember this happening as a kid. It's so cheap. Because the boss isn't even really... Well, he does a lot of damage. But essentially, if you're in the middle of a big boss fight, you use up all your consumables, then he sucks you out and you have to redo the floor. You come back without those consumables. And after you failed it 2 or 3 times, you have to go back to town to buy more. Now, I don't need to be doing all this damage, but one could say that is the point of hoarding all these items for so long. Don't you magic missile me. Should probably, well, maybe I should just focus down the brain while I can. I know if you, essentially, okay, that's what causes the, okay, so the arm thing is what was causing the gravity. So I really do need to kill it, wherever it is. And then... I mean, I could probably just focus the boss down if I was careful. Just trying to play this a little bit more tactically here is all. It's a shame, like, with these power capsules, they're so limited in time, and you do so much damage, you can almost just rush everything down. Or you almost assuredly can just rush everything down. I'm pretty sure you can kill all these extra parts, too, but maybe. There we go, that's one. I need to kill this gravity slug. There we go. Alright, Demon Lord. Is that your real name? Alright, gotta hit him in the mouth when it's open. That was a double hit. That's pretty good. I just want to stay away from the pit of restart. Oh, he's dead. Yeah, we definitely maximized the damage to make the boss easier. If it wasn't for the restart, that would have been pretty simple. Then again, the longer it goes, if you didn't do millions of damage, the more holes will appear in the ground because of that firebomb attack. Although maybe if you let it hit you, it doesn't destroy the ground. I don't know. Maybe there's a way to stop that from happening. I'm not going to reload to test it out. So there you guys go. Brain Lord. It takes about 9 or 10 hours to beat. A bit short for an RPG, but probably pretty average for action platforming RPG like Link to the Past. That's about the same as those games. I mean, it only has 5 dungeons compared to Zelda's usually 9-ish. 8 or 9. But on the other hand, they're a lot longer than your average Zelda dungeon. Oh, come on! I would have dodged that. Actually, given the way the last boss fight went, it's probably accurate that I fell down. Thanks, eclectic lights. Yeah. So I mean, that's pretty much it. I think there's a little cutscene here at the end, so we'll watch the whole credits, obviously. But yeah, that's 2 streams to finish a game. Not terrible. A little bit long today. It's getting a bit late for me. I got stuff to do, but I had fun. I'll have to make sure I get these all organized so I can upload them to YouTube now, because clearly we were having some problems with that. But I'll try to sort that out next day or two and get those videos back for people that miss sections. Obviously, it's not the best game in the world. You know, I don't think it really competes with Chrono Trigger or Final Fantasy 4 or 6 or any of that. But I do think still, even after replaying it, that it's probably better than it gets credit for. Like, I don't think very many people have ever played this, and it's generally not on lists of RPGs to play on the Super Nintendo. I mean, I know there's a million SNES RPGs, but this actually, like, I'd probably put it in my top 20? Maybe top 10, maybe? It's a tough call to be in the top 10. There's an awful lot of really good RPGs. But, yeah, I could put it in the top 20 pretty safely, and there's probably 50 good SNES RPGs, at least in the good tier, so it's probably up there. Give or take. But yeah, I don't know, I had fun. Like I said at the beginning of the first stream, it is apparently somewhat related to the 7th Saga story, although I'm not sure if that's actually canonical or not, but there's definitely some tie-ins between the 7th Saga story, which if you know, I mean spoilers for another 20-year-old game, but essentially the hero travels back in time to defeat the big bad guy, and then he wins, but sort of his soul gets destroyed, or his body gets destroyed specifically, and then like the big good guy, the Deus Ex whatever, sort of reincarnates him into a little baby or something, and I believe that baby is supposed to be the main character for this game, but you know, it's all good. It's a pretty good game. I mean, I think I was able to speed through it a little quicker than your average first run would take, because I did remember most difficult sections from playing it as a child. So yeah, I mean, like it'd be a bit more challenging first time through, and definitely has some low points. You have to like some relatively head-smashing puzzles, like the stone rocks. There's not really, or the silent stones. You know, you're gonna go through slow. The dark rooms in the final dungeon, either you're gonna look up a guide or you're just gonna bash your head against walls for a while. The actual puzzles and riddles aren't too bad, but there's a couple tough platforming sections and a couple just wasting your time sections, we'll call them. But overall, you know, the combat, the controls and stuff are fine. Like it's maybe not quite as smooth as playing like Link to the Past, I would say, but it's not too much different. It's missing some things like a dash or a jump attack or something like that, or charge your weapon attack up, or some sort of balance to make the magic a little bit better. So you can see, like, it's not... That's why it's not like an A-tier game. It's missing some things like that. But I'd put it in the B tier of RPGs for sure. I played way worse than this on the Super Nintendo. Like, way worse than this. In games that are quite popular. Oh no, the notorious bandit Numakuna. It's probably like a developer name. 5,000 Gs. How much did we have at the end of that? Like 30,000 or 300,000 or some stupid number? We got like full platinum armor we could probably sell for an entire town's worth of money by now. Like, just buy out Toronto. Invest in real estate. We're gonna go fight Numakuma. We still have not invested in pants. Or shoes. Maybe a hat. Maybe it just turns out that pants are really expensive in this world. Well, Barnes managed to live. I think plot-wise, Cashin sort of hooks up with the hero. And then Ferris, of course, you know, she's fairy. She's got to hang out, do stuff. Like I said earlier, it's not that these guys do a whole lot during the game, but this stuff they got right. Having, you know, a group of characters sort of hang out with you, help out a little bit as you travel through. I think they could have helped out a little more. It would have been nice if, like, one of them sort of did something during one of the boss fights or something. Like, I don't know, stun the boss or give you some platforms or hearts or something. You know, like the end of Super Mario World, the princess throwing down a mushroom once in a while. If they'd added a little bit more of that, it probably would have been enough to upgrade it a tier or something. Because they had the right idea, but it may have just fallen a little bit short on a couple of the sort of mechanics and stuff. That's my thinking on it anyway. And it may have some translation weaknesses, like there's been some typos for spelling and stuff we've noticed. Some of the plot was a little loose and not terribly well explained, but that's pretty standard for Super Nintendo games. Not very many of them have, like, Chrono Trigger style scripts. Like, that's pretty unusual. And even it had its own sort of faubles, but anyway, that's all. So, hope you guys enjoyed the live streams. Again, I don't know exactly when the next one will be. I sort of hit these up when I've got the time and the energy. So I try to give a few hours notice. If I'm really ahead, if I'm doing well, I'll give a proper day's notice or 2 days notice if I know. But it's difficult for me to plan it out that far in advance. But I'll probably try to get into the Phoenix Wright series to continue that, because I know I've left that on pause for a long time. And I've definitely got a bunch of old nostalgic Super Nintendo games that I'd like to share. And doing it on the live stream kind of bangs them out a little bit quicker, and it's nice to have some people to chat with while you're going through some of the grindy sections, rather than just trying to make a video out of it and keep it like on topic for the whole video. It's a little difficult for some of these games. Anyway, thanks for watching, everybody. Hope you've enjoyed the stream, and I'll see you back. Well, I'm going to try to stick with this a little bit more regularly, so hopefully we won't have to wait a month for another stream. It'll be either a few days or a week or something like that. Anyway, that's all for this one. See you next time.